Hi everybody, this is Diane. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing in this video, but I'm cleaning up my craft room and I have this pile of stuff that I don't want to put away. And I don't really want to throw it away. So I'm just going to play and we're going to make something while cleaning. So some of it is things I just fussy cut out of scrapbook paper, which I had shown you these pieces of paper when I did my first What Can We Do with Scrap Paper video, and I said I was going to fussy cut them, and I did, but I didn't put them away yet. And others are just little cut-off pieces. This came out of the Italian book that I used recently, and I really wanted to save that signature. I think I have another piece out of the same book with some more writing on it, so I want to preserve that somehow. Just little things. I just punched these out of some scrap paper when I was doing my second video on using scrap paper. These are some more fussy cuts from that scrapbook paper. So I have all these little bits, and so before I turn on the camera I just went to my scrap cardstock drawer. These are what I just had out on my desk from making the tags and things that I just did in my last video. And I went to my drawer that says to make ephemera with, and I pulled out some things I could use as backgrounds. So maybe I can use these and put some of this stuff on them, but let's just see what we come up with. First thing I wanted to do was, I have this postcard that was in a batch full of vintage postcards, and I love the back of it. The front of it is ruined. So I pulled this out when I was recently sorting through my postcards, and I also pulled this one out, not because it's ruined as far as the picture or the back, but because this corner is precarious. So I want to reinforce that somehow. But I wanted to start with this and collage on the front of it so that it can be a nice card. I don't know if it'll be journaled on, because what I thought about putting on it was this lady that I cut from a graphic 45 paper. And then I had this several sheets of this paper from a very, very, very old hymnal that I thought I could collage that on there as a background and then put her on. So there really wouldn't be a place for journaling, but it would be a decorative piece. And this part isn't ruined, so I might just let that show through. And why get out scissors when you can just tear, right? And this is where it was torn from the center of the book, but I like that rough edge, so I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to glue that down. Just want to make sure I don't want to put something else behind her before I glue her down. I feel like I need one more circle. Just don't know where to put it. I think I'll just put it up there in the corner. So yeah, I'm supposed to be cleaning in here, but I'd either have to make something with all this stuff, or take the time to put it away, or just throw it away. Quickest thing would be to throw it away. I chose the thing that takes the longest, but at least I'll be accomplishing something. So I think that is good enough. It's just a nice piece of ephemera to tuck into a pocket. This is dated 1947. So now let's just see what we can do to reinforce this corner. There's a blank spot right there, so I thought I could just put a strip of something there. Oh, that looks nice. I'm just going to make it narrower. I wonder if I want to border punch it. That might make it fun. I'm going to border punch it first, and then if I don't like that, I can cut it off, and that would probably narrow it down as much as I need it to be narrowed. Turn my phone down. Ooh. Maybe I sold my last Smash book. Okay, I do like that border, so I'm just going to trim it a little bit because it doesn't need to be that wide. It doesn't cover up where the whole thing that's bent, but it's going to prevent this corner from bending in, so I think it'll protect that well enough. There. Now I've preserved 2 vintage postcards. This one wasn't used, so I don't have a date on it. It's Brunswick, Maine, sunset at Sunset Cove, Simpson Point. Okay, so there, we did 2. These 2 are items I just quickly did. They are 6x6 sheets of paper of cardstock. I kind of scored that a little bit too deeply, so it could tear. It's like more like perforated. But I saw somebody on YouTube making these, and I can't remember who it was. I was crafting, and that YouTube video was on, so I just grabbed a couple pieces of 6x6 cardstock and cut these. Now her video was how to use up a 12-inch sheet of paper, 12 by 12 paper. So she cut a 12 by 12 into 4 of these 6x6. But I happen to have some 6x6 double-sided paper. I don't have a lot of double-sided ones, but I had some. So I just cut these, folded them and cut them so I would remember about them. So I scored it down the center, 3 inches down the center, and then you cut one side, another 3 inches down that side, right to the score line, but not past it. So what you would end up doing is, let's see, You could fold it whichever way you want to let the one side show that you want. You're going to see both, but on the front, all right, let's do it this way. This is how I wanted to do it. Okay, so this is all I'm going to see of that print right there. The pocket, this is a pocket right here. And then on the back, this will be glued to a page. That'll be glued to a journal page. So you open the page, and you have this, and there's a pocket here. And you turn this over, and there's a pocket here. So you want to put it further down on the page. And then there would be a stack of papers sewn to the top here so you can write on it. So there's really no gluing to do except here, because this is going to be glued to a page. And then I will cut some papers. So I've got these two scraps that I can use for these, and that'll take care of these pieces on my desk. But I have two of them started. I just put away my circle punch in my cleanup efforts. So you're going to punch a thumb pull in both of the short sections. This goes here, and I'm going to glue that there. I could sew it, but I'm not at my sewing machine. Now what would be awesome is if I can use some of these little pieces up here to embellish. Let me adjust this a little bit. And then this will be glued down here. And I think, see, this is okay because it's glued down, and so this isn't going to come apart. But this part, because I scored it, I pushed down a little too hard with my scoring tool, I want to reinforce that because that's going to flop open and close. And I want it to be secure. These little strips are a little too heavy for making a hinge. Don't I have a thin piece here? I do not, except for this. I think that would hinge it okay. It's a piece of vellum. Now, I think I'll have the vellum on this side. I think it would look better on this green stripe side. So these need to be cut less than 3 inches wide and less than 6 inches long. And I will have to add more papers to them so I can have 4 or 5 or even 6 sheets sewn on here. And let's see, I can take a little decorative strip to sew across the top there. Then you would just write on this and fold it up and write on that. You could write on that if you could manage it. And I could just glue everything down so then there wouldn't be sewing through there. Let's do that. And then, well, I need more pages for it. Got this scrap paper. that was in my pile of stuff I pulled out from the to make ephemera with drawer. You know, I have sessions like this where I'm using scraps and I feel like I'm really, really using up stuff and making good progress, but it's usually not even a drop in the bucket of all the stuff we have. I am going to sew these since I want these, I don't want to just put glue on every layer, so I will at least sew this and then maybe I'll glue it to this. And then I can have this in my ephemera box. Ready to go into a journal. So let's see if we can embellish. Oh, this is perfect. Since these are letters, I have this little embellishment that I had made and it's just been sitting on my desk. It's got a stamp on it. So I'm just going to cut it so it fits on there. And that's a perfect embellishment for that. Cut that crooked. There. Perfect. Ah, my glue bottle leaked on my collage postcard. So I guess this could be part of the What to Do with Scrap Paper series because most of the stuff here is scrap paper. I'll just clip this on here so it doesn't get lost. And I'll probably want to add an embellishment here. These I cut out of a magazine that says, this one says Ephemera. I had a few of them. I don't know where the rest of them are. I don't want to put that one on there that says Ephemera. What else do I have? All right, I like this with the script. I think that's right side up. Yeah. I also like the ivy. I'm going to cut this piece that has some ivy and some script on it. And I'm going to cut it in a banner shape. Take one of these little circles and add it on there. So I'm trying to just use what I have on my table. That one shows the ivy better. But I like it with the banner facing that way. So the script will be upside down, but I don't think anybody's going to examine it closely enough to see that. Maybe I just won't even use that. I'll just leave it off for now. Okay, so the fold is reinforced. You shouldn't have to do that, but I pressed too hard, like I said, or I used the wrong kind of tool. I think I used one of these with the ball on the end and it was just too much for it. This one is much better. I think I did this one first. So I don't have the paper to put here right now. But really, all of the only plaid you're going to see is right here, because we have the pockets are both the reverse side, and then this is the reverse side of it. So you decide which one you would rather see the most of. I could do it this way and have it go like this, so I would see more plaid, you see. But I kind of like those dots. They're pretty cool. So I'm just going to glue this. Here's the other Latin. These were both from that, I mean Italian. These are both from the Italian book. This one says discover. This is just a border print that got left out on my desk. I've had that for a long time. Not border print, but punch. That's not something to make something with. That was an idea. This is stuff made with muslin fabric. So I saved that for ideas. Oh, how about this? I like the color. That could be something that goes inside. Yeah. That looks pretty good. I think I like that side better. I don't want to take too much time because I have other cleaning I need to do. So I'm just making things quickly. This almost looks like a globe with the patterns that are on it. If I put that on there, you could actually jot a date or something on it. I think that'll be enough. Then we'll have some papers added there. Trying to put this right side up because it says coupon there, the numbers there, so I want them to be right side up. Okay, so that one's done. Let me see this one. I think I cut this off of a longer pocket, and I had already sewn the eyelet onto the pocket. And of course there'll be something in this pocket too. This is something I scanned and copied from a very fragile piece that I had gotten at a flea market. Ooh. It's just a tiny, tiny bit too short, but I'm going to glue it on there because I'm trying to use stuff up. I'm going to put it all the way to the top and then maybe cut some off the bottom. I don't really want to because there's a black line there and I'll be cutting that off, but you know, the outline, but that's okay. There. There's a little tag. Okay. What else can we do with what's on my desk? I have this really pretty illustration from a planner that I used to have, and I wrote on it. I think it's from the 80s or 90s. So I want to make sure it gets backed with something. This is probably too short. I want it to be something you can write on. How about this? I'm not going to keep using my expensive glue for these things that don't need it. I'm going to use my glue stick. That's why I have this pile of papers here. So I'm getting to use stuff that's on my desk and also using some of the things that were in my drawer waiting to be made into ephemera. Maybe I need to wait for the glue to dry. I'll try it again when the glue is dry, but I will round the corners on that one. I want to use some of these ladies that I cut out and some of these flowers, so I'm going to find something I can use them on. going to glue this together, make a tag out of it. It was just from a 6x6 sheet pattern paper. And it's not the heavy stuff, it's thin. Okay. I moved this piece down to the bottom, and I'll move this piece closer up to the top. Make sure they're straight on there. I went back to the expensive glue because these are cardstock pieces. I don't trust glue stick with them. Okay, that piece is not centered. There. And you can write on it. It's light enough that you could write on the back. These are some cute cards, tags that I stamped a long time ago with a prompt that you can write on. So maybe I can decorate them, put them in my ephemera box. Got all these fun circles. That stamp is on there pretty crooked, but I don't care. It's whimsical. Pick up the circle. Just cluster them together like bubbles. And maybe add a little washi tape. trim off the washi tape. I will add a fun fiber to that, or ribbon or something. I don't know, I might need to do something else, like take a colored marker and draw around the border. Let's just do that. I've got markers. Hopefully markers still work. I haven't used them in a while. Gonna have to use the brush tip. It looks a little more green than I thought it would. There, I think that really helps. I'll do that before, well, I don't know what colors I'm going to use. So once I determine colors, I'll draw around the border before I add my stuff down. Well, I just glued the washi tape on without putting on my border. I think I will do a blue border on this one. I think it's a little brighter than I want. Maybe I'll do yellow. Might not show up much on that manila though. No, doesn't show up. I'll do that one. It is, these are Stampin' Up! Markers. This is Midnight Muse. Almost looks black on here. Ah! One more. What did you say? I think for this one I will just do a brownish border. This one is called Soft Suede. Sorry. I was almost out of camera there. I will add fun fibers to all of these. And they will be fun tags. And I have, oh, I've got to stop. I've been doing this for a long time. I have this piece that's printed label. I have that in one of my printable sets in my shop. I think it just about fits on there, and then I'll trim it to fit. I'll trim the backing. I didn't realize I was doing this for so long. No wonder my tummy is telling me it's time to stop. Get something to eat. And I'm just going to leave that as it is. I don't think it needs any more embellishing. It was just printed on a thin paper, so I needed to make it a little sturdier. So let's see what we've done in this session. I used up some of the stuff that was on my desk. Alright, so we did that. Just backed it with some funky watercolor paper. We did these fun tags. Just backed this card. Let's try punching it now. So this is a beautifully illustrated card, and I could add a ribbon or lace or something for a tab on it. And I repaired this old postcard and repaired this old postcard just with that. And I worked on these little pocket, flip pocket things. And I made this tag. So that's quite a bit accomplished here. Thank you for watching. I hope that it helped you with some ideas of how to clean up some clutter that you don't want to have to put away. I still have a few more pieces I want to use. I really want to use up the rest of these little ladies that I cut out of graphic 45 paper so they don't get lost. So maybe I'll do that before I have lunch. I have 3 little ladies to use. And if I make something with them, I will leave that item out so I can show it to you at the beginning of the next video. In the meantime, have a creative day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.